Yes, I remember my audition for the show. Please tell me you still have the tape, because I don't.
I was 21 years old and just a very free and wild spirit. And in my audition tape, I was just kind of showing them what my life was like in Wisconsin, and it was pretty drab and pretty boring. And then I decided to run topless on Lake Michigan's beach. So it was very interesting and funny.
This is what I did for my audition. I partied, had a girlfriend, partied some more. That's about it. A lot of partying.
I was on a show called Are You the One? And in the back of my mind, I was just praying that I was gonna get the call for the challenge. And I remember walking on the streets of New York. I was going to my job at the time, and I see this 818 number calling me, and I'm like, oh my God, this must be the challenge. And I literally just freeze in the middle of oncoming traffic.
My audition for the real world was epic. Basically what I did was I did an episode of the real world, and I played 4 characters. I played myself, I played Tech from Real World Hawaii, I threw on a blonde wig, I played David from Real World New Orleans, and I kept singing a song, Come On Be My Baby Tonight. And then I played Mike Tyson. And they were all mad at me because I was partying too much. They kicked me out the house. I did confessionals and everything. In my opinion, it's probably one of the best casting videos that they ever had. So you guys go look that up.
I never auditioned for this show, but I was very close to being the next American Idol. I think I had a legitimate shot. You know, things didn't work out, but I have auditioned for a show before, just not this one. Yeah, I remember getting the call for my first challenge and honestly thinking, well, you have mixed this up. You got the wrong guy. And because coming off of my season of Are You the One, we're talking about Nelson, Hunter, Chuck, even Zach Longo. Like, these guys were way more on brand for what I thought the challenge was, but it turns out what you needed most was a little Devin.
Let's go!
So I auditioned twice, and the first time I did it, I was dating my long-term boyfriend from high school, and he found out that I had applied and it didn't go well. So I withdrew myself from casting. And after we broke up, I applied again. I just sent in a tape, a VHS tape back in the day, and it had me doing all kinds of athletic things. I was water skiing, I was riding a jet ski, dirt bike, and making cookies. So I just wanted to show variety.
When I originally tried out for the real world, I ended up running into Derrick C. And it's so crazy because Derrick and I both worked at the same bar. He was a bartender, I was a server there, and I ran into him at the tryout. That was like, I don't know, like 13 years ago. So it's crazy.
My audition for my original season was kind of funny because I was sick at the moment and my roommate really wanted to audition for the show. And she kind of tricked me into going down to the group interview. And obviously you don't think you're gonna win this audition because, I mean, there's so many people that did it. And me being sick and not trying like everybody else was and then getting picked to do it is just hilarious because it just shows you like you never know what they're looking for.
I came from the circle, and I guess a lot of people saw me on the circle and said, Ed, like you'd be a great fit for the challenge. And I had never watched it before, but I was like, oh yeah. And then a couple months later, they contacted me on Instagram like, hey, Ed, we saw you on the circle, think you might be a good fit for our show. Like, do you want to apply? And I'm like, no, like this is destiny happening right now. So I got that message and I was like, yes, hell yes, where do I apply? Sign me up.
I got declined the first time I got the call for the challenge. So I got off the real world. They called me for the challenge. They were like, hey, we would love to have you on the show. I'm like, perfect. That's why I did the real world, is to get on the challenge. They're like, yep, we know. And it was X's. I think this X's 2. And my partner declined. So then 2 weeks later, I get a call and they're like, sorry, but you're not coming. So at that point, I was like, this is my dream. I wanna go on the challenge. I wanna, but it was bittersweet. It was one of those moments where it's like, all right, I'm in the right position. I'm doing what's right, yeah.
My first casting for my first show was in New York City. I was like, what do I have to lose? And I remember getting up extra early, being in the first group of 40 people, one-liners around the table and tap, tap. And the casting director was like, can you fill out this Bible? And I was there all day. I think I had carpal tunnel by the end of the day. 6 or 7 more callbacks and it was a wrap. I was a fresh meat contestant.
But when I got the call, like the real call, and that big old thick packet with all the papers for me to sign. Are you serious?
My roommate wanted to audition for Road Rules. I'm pretending to do an interview tape, and I'm laying in bed and I've got a cast on, and my roommate's like pretending to produce it, and she's asking me questions, and she's like, well, can you tell me about your hair? And I was like, my hair is amazing. She's like, what, tell me something scandalous. And I was like, I'm sleeping with my hairdresser. And that's all I remember of it. Then someone called me and asked me if I wanted to go to Paris. And that was that.
My audition tape for Road Rules, we had a night of drinking, my car got towed, I had a little bratty fit, and I thought, oh, they'll love that.
First time I got the call for the challenge, I remember just screaming on the phone for like 30 minutes. And they were telling me everything and I was just going nuts. Best feeling, it's surreal. I mean, to be where I'm at now 5 seasons in, I feel like the luckiest person in the world. It's been the biggest blessing in my life for sure.